I'm here with Dr. Blake Ratner, Director General of WorldFish, to discuss the organisation's new 6-year strategy, which has recently been launched. Thanks, Blake.
Thanks very much.
Blake, can you tell us in a nutshell what the WorldFish Mission is and how you're going to achieve it?
Sure. The WorldFish Mission is focused on strengthening livelihoods and food security and nutrition through improving fisheries and aquaculture. And we do that through 3 main focal areas. The first is sustainable aquaculture, looking to find ways to increase production along with reducing the environmental impact and making sure that the opportunities are wide and equitable. The second is resilient small-scale fisheries, and that means looking at ways to sustain the productivity of these natural systems, but also improve the benefits for communities. The third area is value chains and nutrition, which means looking at ways to reduce waste and loss along the fish value chains and making sure that affordable, nutritious fish are available for those most in need, especially women and children. And we do all of this while keeping in mind the necessities of addressing climate change and adaptation, looking at gender equity, and trying to find ways to boost entrepreneurship. So it's a big agenda, and it's one that we take very seriously.
What's new about the strategy compared to the focus of the organisation in previous years?
Well, there are a number of things that have changed. We've set ambitious and very specific targets for our development impact. We've defined clear innovations that we aim to bring to scale. So these are things like looking at improving the productivity and resilience of particular strains of tilapia and carp, work on developing sustainable fish feeds. And we've set clear targets in terms of our work within focal and scaling countries to make sure that the impact of those innovations is felt at a very broad scale.
Why is fish so important?
Well, fish is really important to meeting the goals that we've set out. So take, for example, around livelihoods. We've got, by our estimates, around 800 million people around the world who depend on fisheries and aquaculture for some aspect of their livelihoods. And that means that achieving the Sustainable Development Goals simply isn't possible if we ignore the people who depend on these sectors. If you look at the challenge of food security, about 1 billion people depend on fish as the main source of animal protein in their diet. So these are some of the areas where we find that the rationale for investment in fisheries and aquaculture for development outcomes is really strong, and it's a significant area of underinvestment.
What is the importance of funding research into solutions to make fisheries and aquaculture more productive?
Well, Kate, there are a lot of organizations that are working to improve community livelihoods, to improve business opportunities through fisheries and aquaculture, for example. But what they rely on is an evidence base that says what works where, how to develop the right technologies and apply them in the right places. And so that's what we do. Our research is about the technology improvement. It's about building the evidence for institutional change, for policy change, so that these goals can be met efficiently and that they can reach the broadest numbers.
What are the unique capabilities that WorldFish has in terms of delivering fisheries and aquaculture research that will make a difference to achieving food nutritional security in developing countries?
The role that we play is of an integrator. So there are organizations that focus on technology development or on environmental conservation or on community livelihoods development. What we do is bring together the different capabilities of our researchers and partners to be able to deliver those results for the men and women who depend on our research the most. In addition to that, we've got a very strong commitment to measure and communicate about the results that we've achieved with our partners, and we're seen as an unbiased player that brings evidence to the table so that these different groups can make sound decisions for the future.
Thanks, Blake. Thanks for your time.
Thanks very much.